I wasn't even looking for an iPad solution, but I was getting pulled into so many integration discussions, and I still do, but now I've got something in my bag that I can actually go, yes, we can do it. Here is everything you need. We can either help you develop it yourself at a charge out rate, whatever the consultancy is. You can do it DIY, again, with some consultancy help, or we can do it for you. You help us. I'm James Kaplis. I'm the head of IT, security, and quality for Employment Innovations. I've been in IT for the last 15 years and a variety of roles in between there. And Employment Innovations is a managed payroll and HR company. We provide the services on the Employment Hero and Keypay platforms. Our team are experts in providing payroll managed services and HR. We've got about 70 payroll employees and about 30 HR experts, and they're very good at providing the services on those platforms. You know, the payroll team are just amazing at doing their work there, monthly payrolls, fortnightly, ad hoc. And the HR team, by becoming an integral part of our customers' workforce, and being their HR representative. The biggest issue, though, we've had is where a customer would like to use the EI services on either the Keypay or Employment Hero platform, but they have another payroll system or another HRIS system. So, for example, they don't wish to use Employment Hero, but they do wish to use Keypay, Employment Hero payroll. And the biggest thing we found is when a customer has advised, you know, what integration options are available to get employee data from their HRIS into our payroll platform. The biggest issue has been we've had to outsource the development of these. We've either had to partner with development firms or work with the customer who would wish to develop the integration in-house. We started to look into the possibility of developing integrations in-house. Now, we are not a development company. We don't have any developers, software developers or anything of the kind. And we started to explore the iPaaS solutions that were available out there. And we came across Workato. And once we started talking to Workato, we found out that they had their embedded solution, which would mean that we could start offering integrations to all of our customers in a way, in a secure way that would give us more control over the environment, more control over the data that is being transferred. And it just removes that extra step of having a third party to have to communicate with when something goes down, when something breaks, when a piece of data doesn't transfer through. It really helps us to be able to be on top of that, especially with payroll. You know, there's nothing worse than somebody not being paid or being paid incorrectly, because, you know, when it comes to payroll, you've got to get it right every single time. And Workato, as the iPaaS solution of choice, has really given that to us. We have positioned the embedded solution provided by Workato as a bolt-on product to our core services. In no way at the moment is Workato a standalone product. It requires our customers to either be utilizing the Employment Hero HR platform or the Employment Hero payroll platform. That being said, we don't restrict the customers to the one integration. If they ask us to build an integration for them, we will build that integration, we will maintain it, and we will look after it moving forward for the duration of their contract or until they advise otherwise. However, we also allow our customers to go into the Workato embedded platform with the white label so that they can then go and build the integration. Now, obviously, the caveats there are that the integrations must touch on either the payroll or the HR platforms. However, given that for us, these platforms are usually the source of truth for employee data, they're quite useful in order to onboard and offboard employees from other platforms, or to send data to other systems such as data warehouses or ERP systems. So for us, the biggest selling point for Workato is, yes, there might be an initial integration to get them in the door. However, once they're through, they realize that for the same cost, they can go ahead and build anything they want. So with Workato, we found that outside of the standard use cases where a customer has a system they would like to integrate into a payroll or HR platform, or vice versa, out of the payroll HR platform into another system, we've also realized that there is a lot of administrative work that we do as a business on behalf of our customers within their databases. And we've come across some use cases where we can generate reports, we can generate things out of the platforms that do not come out of the box, and we do so using Workato. So while we're providing this service to the customer, it might be free of charge, it might be at a minor monthly cost in terms of, to account for task consumption, things like that. What we're doing is we're making our processes better. We're looking at that time to live for a customer being improved greatly. And we're looking at just giving the customer the best possible experience. So usually in a sales process where customer says, I want payroll and I want XYZ reports and things like that, the old argument used to be, well, we can give you payroll, we can do that. And yes, we can do the reports. We'll have to build them monthly for you. So we either have to run a template or we have to run a script or something in VB within Excel to generate that data, or collate it all from a whole bunch of different sources. Now what we can do is with Workato, we can then go to that customer and say, yes, fantastic, here are the reports. We have some standard additional reports out of the box that we have on top of the reports in the platforms. And then if you want anything bespoke on top of that, we can either put the data into a data warehouse, or we can just put it straight into an Excel and share it to you via SharePoint or your preferred document storage solution. The other thing, we've turned IT from a cost center into a sales center. So while we're a team of two, we are supporting our business in the day-to-day IT, helping sales, trying to win pitches and things like that, and keeping the lights on tech-wise, worrying about licensing and all sorts of stuff. We now have IT generating revenue for a team of two for 150 employees across the board. If we didn't embed Workato and we hadn't gone down this path, I think our alternative would have been to work with third parties, or to possibly engage software developers and build that function within our business. But, there's nothing wrong with third parties. There's nothing wrong with software developers. There is no one size fits all solution here. But at the same time, we like to give our customers choice. We don't want to lock them into one platform, to one solution. Usually there is no one size fits all kind of product. And, we would still be working with third parties as we do currently. We provide, SME expertise around the technical side of the payroll platforms. We bring in our payroll partners so that when they're working with the customer and the developer, whoever that may be, everything runs smoothly. But I do think that we're better positioned because we have that payroll expertise in-house. We have the technical understanding of the payroll system. And by being able to combine that with the iPaaS solution, I think it's just given us a it's taking us to the next level. Our implementation of Workato has been surprisingly straightforward and smooth. While absolutely not without issues, anything that has happened has been overcome. You know, we internally are very proactive. We love a good proof of concept. We love to prototype. We like to play around. Workato gave us that platform, and we were able to very quickly go from proof of concept for a demonstration to our first customer, all the way through to their product was built within no more than 2 months, so about 8 weeks. And to be able to go from not having anything at all to replicating, you know, an almost out of the box integration function with a platform that we've never seen, with a platform that we know very well, it was just amazing. With Workato, I think the few pieces of advice I can give anybody who might be exploring the Workato embedded platform is you have to have an idea of what you want out of it. So in our use case, we had customers asking for integrations, and either integration partners they had no capacity, they were not familiar with the platforms that the customer was using, you know, variety of reasons. And we found that Workato, with the library of connections or connectors that it has, really kind of helped us target that mid-market customer base for our payroll and HR customers. So much so that, you know, our customers coming on board to the Workato product are, you know, borderline enterprise. And they've got the employee headcounts, and they've got, you know, sort of the ability to cover the costs of an iPaaS solution. So the biggest point, I think, is once you've figured out what it is that you're trying to do, see if you've got the customers to support it, and what sort of model that you'd want to do with Workato, because with the beauty of the embedded product is that you can sell it, you can give it away for free, you can just do it for back of house functions for the services that you want to use for those customers. So once you've figured out how you want to go about it, then you can start doing it. And I think you don't need to be technical. You don't need to be a developer. You just have to be willing to give it a go. I think the thing with a lot of iPaaS solutions out there, the low code, no code solutions, they are very straightforward. You know, most people who use them, they'll sign up for a free trial and they'll just start playing with it, and then they'll realize that they're onto something, and then they can put it together. But I do think that you need to have the customers behind you for your use case. And I think then those use cases will grow. Start with your core use case. We started with integrations for customers, and we've identified so many other use cases where they are customer related. And that's been the biggest thing for us, to get things like time to live down from, you know, a couple of months to one to two. So instead of 3 or 4, you know, I think have a think about that. See if you can work out where you fit in that picture. And I think Workato is the solution. It does allow you to use many different connectors, many sort of AAA rated, you know, platforms. And then you've got your standard HTTP connector, which you can connect to anything. If there's an API or a webhook, you can connect to it. So you're really only limited by the platforms that you want to connect to.